before becoming the Minister of State Finance, Mr. Taiwo Oyedele did a number. Maybe Mr. Taiwo Oyedele, you have to come back and atone for your
an education.
Nigerians want you.
It's an tax educationist.
Oh wow! People were like,
try.
I'm sure by the time he was going to the Ministry of Finance, they were like, thank God. But no, he has already put the system in place, so you must file your tax.
No, because and that's what needs to happen now, because you know getting tax filing rights requires formal registration with the relevant tax authority to obtain your tax identification number, the one for your business, the one for your person, and all of that. And then, yes, I know your bank, they usually, your company, your organization, they usually help you to file some things. They deduct from source.
Yes.
DFS. But you also need to have some understanding
of it.
So the process involves filing annual returns on income earned in the previous fiscal year, typically by the 31st of March via the Nigeria Revenue Service or State Internal Revenue Services digital platform. We understand that you're supposed to have filed by March 31st.
Yeah.
But the Lagos State government extended it, to April 14. Today is April 11. You have 3 days.
Until Tuesday.
You have
Tuesday,
Oh, it's 3, 4, whatever. You don't have much time.
Let's say Monday evening. Till Tuesday,
Oyebola Magaji joins us this morning to educate us on how it should go. She's a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria and fellow Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria. We have to bring a chartered person to come and charter this conversation to us. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
So now, first of all, help clear the confusion that people may be having about this whole thing. We have to file tax returns. Does that mean we have to pay tax? Because we also understand that there are some people that a threshold that don't have to pay taxes. Help us understand what all this is about.
All right, thank you. So I would like to, first of all, give a clarification as to the tax returns. So basically, there are 3 forms of tax returns, which people, annual returns, which people confused. So we have that which is done by companies. We call it company income tax returns. We have those that are done by every company to Corporate Affairs Commission. That's the CAC annual returns. And we also have that is done by individuals and corporate on behalf of their employees, which is the personal income tax annual returns. So what we are discussing today is focusing on the personal income tax annual returns that has to do with individuals. So the corporate is different. So the threshold you've mentioned is applicable to companies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, based on their turnover. So effective 2026, when companies have a turnover of 100 million and below, they are exempted from both taxation, from value-added tax, company income tax, and also withholding tax. But the withholding tax has some caveat, like you need to give those that are supposed to deduct at source proof, so that they don't deduct from you. Because when they deduct from you, your money will just be sitting in the coffers of the government, and the claiming process, they've tried to enhance it for people to be able to claim their money for credits that have been deducted and they are not utilizing.
Pause. So there are some people who, those contractees, the people that give them contracts, are collecting withholding tax from, but they should not be paying the withholding tax.
As long as they are exempted based on the turnover threshold. Because the purpose of withholding tax is for you to be able to utilize it to offset your tax liabilities. So if you don't have any tax liabilities to pay in terms of company income tax, what are you going to use it to offset? Nothing.
So what do people,
So that means I have savings.
Accessing it is the issue
as
now.
a company.
Yeah. So, but what do people need to know? Because, as at 4 months ago or 5 months ago, December, when they were drumming it. Nigerians remember January, new tax law is coming into effect. Nigerians remember January, that kind of thing. There were infomercials, there were a lot of campaigns and here and there talks. People were getting jittery about this, not knowing. And I imagine that the people that were jittery are the people that had not been doing the process properly or not even doing it at all. So please simplify it. What do people need to know, aside from the ones that you have just said now? Regular people, what do they need to know about this? Do they need to be so fearful about the process?
Okay, so they're basically not expected to be fearful about the process. So in terms of people, like I mentioned, we are talking about the personal income tax. So when it comes to personal income tax and our returns, every individual, every citizen in Nigeria, as long as you earn an income, you are meant to do that obligation. So for those that are employees, the confusion they have is that because their employer have deducted, why do I still need to file? So filing annual returns is different from the tax you've paid. So is a mandatory requirement for you to disclose. The annual returns is about disclosure, disclosing the income you have earned as an individual, whether you're an employee, whether you're a landlord, earning rental income, whether you are a self-employed person, a trader, a freelancer, social content creators, whoever you are, a professional, consultant, as long as you are earning an income in Nigeria, you're obligated to file your annual return. So basically, the annual returns is about you. The first step basically is that you need to be registered.
Registered with who now?
With the state tax authority. So the tax tax authority are the administrative arm in charge of the personal income tax returns.
I would think that for people who companies are filing on their behalf or making deductions on their behalf, I would imagine that those people are registered already, because sometimes we get these tax cards every year.
Yeah,
I mean, so it's not the same thing?
No, it is. So for companies, because they have obligations to deduct, and they need to enlighten their employees that they need to get their tax ID. So once they get their tax ID and the company is making the deduction, they will get notification, depending on the state where the taxes are being filed, that a tax payment has been made on your behalf, and on their what will I call it? Like on their own platform, when they log in to the system, they will see all payments that had been made on their behalf by their employees. So, and that's why the employer had an obligation, aside deducting and paying. In January, they are meant to now disclose all the incomes of their employees, the taxes that they've deducted and remitted, and pay. Once the employer does that, on the employer's profile, on the tax portal, they will see those details there. So now the annual income filing for the individuals is that, yes, the employer's part is one. So we're saying it covers not just that which relates to salary, and as we're talking about an overall information of your income. So some people might be employees and they have side hustle. Some people might be employees, they have some side businesses they are doing. Some might have investments and they are earning investment income. Some might have been gifted properties, or they own properties and they're earning rental income. So the obligation is that you as an individual, you need to disclose all these sources of income. So including the one that you've earned as an employee, and you disclose that and submit that. So when you log in, where you will navigate sometimes on the left, let's use LRS for instance, on the left side when you log in, you will see where the roads returns, my returns. They have the one for employers. So when you click, you only see details of what your employer has done. But when you click my returns, that's where you then file your own obligation. You would disclose all the income you've earned. There is one from your salary, rental income, so you have to disclose that. So after disclosing, you click submit and you get a notification then you have submitted. That's all about the obligation. It's actually very simple.
Yeah.
So the onus is now left with the tax authority to now assess the information you have disclosed. If, based on the information, the appropriate taxes have been paid. Where appropriate taxes have not been paid, then they raise an assessment on you that you have underpaid or what you've paid is not enough. But in terms of your obligation, it's just to disclose those income and submit. And you can do it yourself. It's just to, but if you can't, then that's when you engage professionals to assist you to navigate the portal. Almost all the states in Nigeria have embraced digital solutions and they are online. So it's easier. You don't have to go to their physical office. But where you can't do it yourself and you can't engage a professional, you can walk in to the tax office and the officers there will guide you and you will do it yourself.
So give me an example of what happens in a situation where, as an individual, you have multiple sources of income, just as you have said. Your employer has filed for you. They have deducted, tax for you. You, as an individual, you are required to file. Is there a percentage of your income that you are supposed to pay as tax that the Nigerian needs to know that, look, when you earn X amount of money, this is the percentage, so that they don't wait for...
Okay, so when your employer has filed, if you don't have any other sources of income, you only disclose the salary you have earned and no further taxes will be required, except based on intelligence findings that the state internal revenue find out that you have income more than you have disclosed, then they can write to you. So to what you have asked, which is what is the tax rate? So Nigeria operates a progressive tax system, so which means we don't have a single tax rate. So it's based on tax band. So based on the new tax law that is operating effective this year, is that once you earn an income, let's say 2 million, okay, let's say 3 million, for instance, in a year, which is like 250 every month. So the tax band, you will get some relief. So the relief we have now is the renter, your rent relief, but before you can get that, which is 20% of your rent, limited to a sum of 500,000. So, but before you can get that, you need to show proof of probably your rent agreement or receipt of payment for that to be given to you. So which will reduce. So if you have your rent agreement or evidence, then all the 3 million will not be subject to tax at the same time. They will deduct the 500, which is the maximum amount you can claim. So you have just 2.5 million to be subjected to tax. So now going with the tax band so out of the 2.5 million, the first 800 is at 0%. So which means you deduct 800 from the 2.5. So you are left with 1,700,000. So it is the 1,700,000 that you now calculate tax on. So the next tax is now 2,200,000 at 15%. So which means your 1,700,000 will then be taxed at 15%. So 15% of 1,700,000 is the annual tax you will pay on your 3 million. So that is how it works. So it's not 15% on the 3 million. You can see relief have been claimed, and there is further relief on the tax bracket, on the tax band of 800. So you are just limited to 1.7 million being taxed out of your 3 million. So that's how it works. So there is no specific single rate to apply.
So at the end of the day, you are essentially pointing to that no matter how much you make, there has to be an isikoto. So say you earn 5 naira from your regular job, you earn 2 naira from your one side hustle, you get another 2 naira from your side hustle. You are not only paying tax based on what your corporate organization has filed for you. Yeah. You are paying a tax based on the 5 naira, the 2 naira, and the 1 naira.
Yes, basically all your income.
So you calculate everything you're doing for the year.
Yes, for the year. So for an employee who's is having a side hustle and earning income, the employer has paid part of it. So the remaining side also income, it will calculate the tax on it and remit it, which he can also do by himself or herself. So on the tax portal, you can go ahead, like LRS has a tax calculator on the system, or you can use the physical tax calculator that is designed by Team Taiwo Oyedele as well, to be able to get your tax, put in the figure, calculate it, and you'll get it. So when you know the figure, you go back to the portal and click on where you have to make payments, and you make your payments.
Okay. Now, I assume that this tax thing is only for the ones that are paid to the bank. Because, wait now, because if they paid me in cash, you cannot know.
Yeah.
Right? Now, what people are afraid of is that, so the bank, the government can just go to my bank account or my bank accounts based on my BVN and see all the money that I have made and just go and yank everything simply because they can see all the money that I am making.
So those are what content creators has been dishing out to people. That's why people need to sieve the information, the process, and receive, and try to get it from professionals. And Team Taiwo Oyedele, they've tried as much as possible to educate and enlighten people on that. In terms of your money in your bank, government does not have a right to go in and take anything from them. Like I said, that will be part of your intelligence finding. Once they see, the obligation is they will write to you that, okay, you have undisclosed income. This is the tax you will pay based on their best of judgment. So we have what is called BOJ. So based on best of judgment, they will say, okay, this is your deemed income or the undisclosed income that they found out, and this is what you're supposed to pay. Then they will write to you. Your obligation is now to respond. So some get that assessment via email, and later some get it delivered to their residential address. So you are now to respond to that. So no government goes into your bank account to take any money.
Okay.
So it is when you are probably not obliging and responding, they can then instruct the bank to place a lien on your account. So when that is done, you will now be obligated to find out why can't I transact with my bank, and you resolve the issue.
Okay.
So bank
now,
don't.
Someone has a joker, for instance, has a bank account that her salary is paid into. And she now says, if I leave this money in this revolving account, I go finish them. So she pulls some of that money out into another account and saves it up. But she has filed, and this has been taxed. Does she also have to pay a tax on that savings?
Not at all. That's why one of the documents that is required is the analysis of your bank statement. So if they pull all those information, you are to analyze and say, these are self-transfers, transfer from one of my accounts to the other account, and basically there will be a narration from the bank showing your names, except if it's an alternative name that is coming, that money came from. But as long as it's showing Joker Rogers to Joker Rogers, it's not an income. So those are contra entry in accounting. They nil off themselves. They are not income to you. It is the one that comes from the original source that is taxable.
Okay, so someone gives me a gift. And my income is 200,000. Someone gives me a gift of 3 million naira. Do I have to pay tax on it?
No, gifts have been exempted from.
How do you know it's a gift and not?
They said you should put gift.
And so that's why I said you have to explain, or you tell the person that is sending it. So most times when some people are sending, they would probably put support, gifts, happy birthday, or whatever is the reason for sending. And that's why we encourage people that you tell them to put a narration when sending information
it's as if we're
you.
doing, I don't know, it's like a merry-go-round to me. Because if that gift is actually part of an income, but it's tagged gift. So how do you? How
No,
does it?
that has been taxed from the person giving it to you.
Don't, please, don't tax
It's
our
not part
gift.
of an income.
Please.
It's given to you for your spending.
No, you have said like.
So if I give my daughter money now, they will not tax her. Please, please.
What I'm saying is like you said that okay, maybe you work for a company, they pay you. You have a side hustle, they pay you that. Then you do business with some people, they pay you. Are you saying if those business partners pay you and they just pay you to your account and they tag you gifts? It will not form part of
They can't tax it.
You won't know.
They can't describe it gifts. So if they are doing that, that means they are not disclosing the truth.
But you probably won't know because if someone sends me money, I've done a service for someone informally.
Why should they target gifts?
No, that's what I'm saying.
So you shouldn't be tagged gifts.
When you do these things, people will find a way around it. It's a loophole.
So people are not supposed to do that.
So we are supposed. We are expected
that is part of our civic responsibility, you know, to be accountable.
All right.
Yeah, to account for our gifts.
The next time,
for all income that we
the next time you come here, you're going
so that we are supporting national development.
The next time you come here, you're going to show us line by line.
All right.
Yes, you show us.
We should do this often and explain to people as much as possible. Yes.
All people can hear now is just words. The next time you are coming, you show us a photo.
The figures.
This is where you do this. That is where you do that, so that there is no ambiguity.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you so much.
This is a good start. So, if you think you need a tax consultant. I'm a tax consultant. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Oyebola Mogaji is a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria and fellow Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria. I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
That's your side hustle, Abby?
Yes, one of my side hustles. No, just wait for a while.
I forgot.
There's another. You see, this tax thing has scandalized and traumatized many people.
Yes.
And trauma seems to be second nature to us in Africa. Many of us were raised traumatized. And we are still traumatizing our children without even knowing it. We'll discuss that when we return from this break on our lifestyle segment. Ready?